Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Earth Tribe. Thank you for all the support and all the love. Jumping into today's topic. All right. What the hell did Elon Musk say on the Joe Rogan podcast? Well, let's get into it. Elon Musk recently was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and what he said was empathy is the weakness of the Western world. Now, I think he was talking about immigration and that kind of stuff, but empathy is the weakness of the Western world. Let's unpack that. First off, what is empathy? The definition of empathy is the ability to share the feelings of another. So if someone is in pain, you could see that pain and you could feel that pain and you could relate to it. Now, let me just tell you, I think this idea, this concept that empathy is a weakness couldn't be more wrong. Empathy, I believe, is a superpower of humans. I think it's one of the greatest gifts that we have. And it's one of the reasons we survived is because we worked together, right? Like we worked as a tribe. And when one of us was down, the others lifted them up. And that's how it should be. That's how we move along. That's how society should be structured. I mean, even to have such a thing called society, you have to have empathy. Otherwise, it's just everybody in for themselves. If everybody starts working together, then empathy is necessary. As soon as you start working with other people, it is important to consider those other people, their emotions, etc., right? It's important for human survival. And more than that, it empowers us to feel our own happiness, because when we can turn someone else's misery into happiness, we actually gain happiness ourselves because of that same empathy, because we could feel their happiness and relate to it. So I believe, with that being said, the actual weakness is the loss of empathy, right? And I think we actually have a lot of that in this world today. It's not that we have an abundance of empathy. It's that we have really a lack of empathy. You know, I remember I went to art school in San Francisco. I graduated with a degree in illustration, and in one of my illustration classes, a brilliant illustrator that was in that class did a very poignant illustration of people walking by homeless people with horse blinders on. For those that don't know, horse blinders are little devices put on a horse's head to keep them from being distracted by what's on the side of the road, to keep them going forward. And the insinuation is that we move through the world and pass homeless people like we don't care, like we just don't see them, right? And in San Francisco, there's a huge homeless problem. And for the majority, and I did this myself, we just walk by with blinders on, and we try to avoid it because it's uncomfortable, because we see somebody struggling and in pain. And if we allow our empathy to engage, then we would feel that same discomfort, and nobody wants that, right? So we really live in this society now that has encouraged us and programmed us to focus solely on ourselves, right? And it really is a detriment, and it really is leading to a lot of problems in the world today because we don't care about others. And it's crazy that we're also being convinced by people like Elon Musk, the elites, if you will, who disenfranchise us and take away resources that belong to all of us. We get, we're convinced by them that it's not them that's disenfranchising us. It's people who are more disenfranchised than us that are disenfranchising us, which if you actually sit there and think about it, is insanity, right? But yeah, and that's the world we live in today. And along the way, we've lost one of the ways we can really feel most happy, and that's by bringing happiness to others, right? I heard it once said that the path to happiness is bringing happiness to others. And that's a powerful statement. And I learned this myself. I have tangible experience with this, and as a result, I'm a big gift giver when it comes to Christmas time, and I don't do it for the gifts because, as much as I love getting gifts, don't get me wrong, but I love giving gifts more. I love seeing that look on someone's face, that genuine surprise, like, oh wow, this really speaks to me. That really gives me joy, like nothing else, and it lasts, and it's like a drug. And if we could teach everybody this, that bringing happiness to somebody else brings you happiness, I think the world would be a much better place. In the United States, we've lost this. We focus on like self-care. When we're having rough periods, we take personal health days and we go to the spa and this and that. In a lot of countries in Europe, it's well known that if you're going through a rough patch and you're down and you're out, the best way to medicate that, to remedy that, is by helping somebody else, right? So to me, that's really powerful. And so what happened to Elon? Why does he think the way he does? Why does he see empathy as a weakness? Well, I think he grew up in an apartheid country, meaning it was a country that was government segregated by government. So already there's an engagement of like some humans are less than other humans. So there's a desensitization of empathy there. Like, don't even worry about them. They're lower, they're lesser, right? Which is, we know now in modern times that's wrong. No human is lesser, right? So he grew up with very wealthy parents, right? And so there's another level of segregation there, of separation. So he grew up distancing himself from people because he probably, was raised thinking that the only reason people want to get close to him is to get a piece of the money, which may have been true. So while Elon Musk considers empathy a weakness, I have nothing but empathy for him, because he probably never had that true feeling of happiness that comes from helping somebody else, right? And furthermore, his lack of empathy is dangerous. It's dangerous for all of us, because what he's saying, and we all need to listen and understand what he's saying, because what he's saying is he doesn't care about people. Because empathy means you care about people, right? You care about somebody else. So if he's saying empathy is a weakness, we know he doesn't want to be weak. No man wants to be weak. It's part of our nature. So we can assume that he wants to eliminate all empathy, meaning everything he does is not for anybody else but himself, right? This is highly dangerous. Serial killers lack empathy. People who are highly deranged and disturbed lack empathy. Empathy is not a weakness. Empathy is what keeps society from descending into chaos. And as we see the decline of empathy in our modern world, we can see our society descending into chaos. Year after year, everything gets more expensive. And I'm someone who lives in the States, and inflation has been something that has been continual since I was a young kid. And I could trace back in history that it goes well beyond my youth. And it has not stopped. It doesn't matter who's in charge. It seems that the corporations continue to take over, and this corporate mindset of greed, infinite growth in a finite world, and focus on profits is soulless, and it's dangerous for all of us. And we really need to understand this, because if we don't, if we descend into a world completely without empathy, friendship doesn't exist without empathy. Relationships don't exist without empathy. We will move into a world that is completely cutthroat, where it is you by yourself And eventually, mankind will wipe each other out. We'll destroy ourselves until there's very few of us, and then nature will finish the job. So empathy really is the one thing that really is the most important thing about our humanity and our survival. You know, many animals have many adaptations that help them survive. For us, it is our empathy. It is our emotional intelligence. It is our ability to communicate to one another, to form tribes, to band together. The most popular sports in the world are not individual sports. They are team sports for a reason, because this is so deeply ingrained in us. The concept of teamwork is so fundamental to our being, and it does not exist without empathy. Thank you for hearing what I have to say. And again, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Am I out of my mind? Is Elon Musk out of his mind? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. And if not, no worries. We'll get you on the next one. But if you do like what I'm talking about, if you do like this channel, please like and subscribe and help me grow this thing. Help me spread a positive message to help change this world into something better. Thank you so much, guys. Much appreciated. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful day, a beautiful week, a beautiful month, a beautiful year. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care.